Makes it hard to fix the relationships with our teenagers is that we see them with the problem. Let me share with you exactly what you need to do to nurture and to heal the wound that exists with you and your teenager, because any wound that doesn't get attended to gets infected. And I want you to think about it like this. Think about a wound itself in our body, okay? So when we have a wound in our body, we don't actually fix the wound. What we do is we tend to the environment of the wound, and the body's innate intelligence fixes itself. We don't actually heal the body itself. We just keep the bacteria out. We clean up the wound, we disinfect the wound, we create an environment where the body can do what it needs to do by itself. So we don't actually fix the wound, we just create an environment for the healing rather than actually doing the healing. Okay, does that make sense? So think about that with your teenager. I want you to think about it like this. There's you, there's your teenager, and between the two of you, there is the relationship. And I want you to think of the relationship as a separate entity, completely separate from you and from them. It's a thing of its own, okay? But it is a living organism, just like you are, just like they are. A living organism is anything that has the ability to grow, evolve, change, and die is a living organism, okay? That could be animals, plants, people, but, things like a TV or a coffee mug, of course, they're not living organisms. They don't change. They are inanimate objects, and therefore they don't require attention. But anything that is a living organism requires attention. All relationships are living organisms. They have the ability to grow, change, evolve, die, be given birth, all those kind of things. And so the relationship between you and your teenager is a living organism. Just like you would tend to a plant, let's say. If a plant was sick and wilting and dying, you don't get angry at the plant. You don't tell the plant how stupid it is for not living the way that you need it to. You don't even say, goodness, I watered you yesterday, I repotted you last week, and I fertilized you a couple of days ago. What's your problem? Why aren't you living? I woke up this morning and I expected that because I did some stuff for you yesterday and I watered you and gave you some extra attention, I expected that because I put in that effort that this morning you'd be standing up tall and looking like you're going to come to life and sprout again. But instead, you've wilted even more than the day before. And this is what we do with our teenagers. Well, hang on, I did this for you yesterday, and I did this and I did that. And see, what happens is this: when we do these things out of pure intention because we're trying to extend ourselves, we want to reconnect and rebuild the relationships with our teenagers. But when we think that doing something it's nearly impossible to do something for them, particularly that comes at a sacrifice to us, or something that's maybe borderline on our belief systems and we're stretching ourselves to let them have that iPad a bit longer or their phone a bit longer, or to go to their boyfriend's house when we're kind of not really that comfortable with it. And sometimes we'll extend ourselves. And when we do that, it's like we've gone and watered the plant and put fertilizer in the plant and repotted the plant, and subconsciously we then have an expectation that what I have just done, that what I have done for you is going to show up and have a result in our relationship. And the plant will look like it's healthier the next day. But then the teenager comes home, let's say, in one of their moods, and they're moody or they're snappy, or they create an argument, or they don't do their chore, or they have an argument or something. And then it's like you saying to the plant, how dare you be like this? I watered you yesterday. How dare you be wilted today? This is the thing, parents, okay? We need to see the relationship between us and our teenagers as a living organism. See it as a plant, okay? The plant needs you. Like, you might have thought you found the problem that was creating the wilting plant. So you did a few things, and even though you'd put in effort, it still wasn't enough. You don't get angry at the plant for being, maybe the plant needs to be put outside in the sunshine. Maybe it needs to be brought in and put in some shade. Maybe there's still something missing even though you've done so much for the plant. But you don't get angry at the plant. You just keep looking for more answers. If you want to revive the plant, you just keep going, why is this not working? What else could it be? Do you see the difference even in our intention and the energy we have towards resurrecting a plant? And if we could bring those principles over to resurrecting the relationship with our teenager, we don't expect the plant to fix itself. We don't even expect the plant to contribute to its own life. We know that that's our responsibility. And this is what we have to do as parents. We have to see that the relationship between us and our teenagers is not their responsibility. It is not their responsibility. It is our responsibility. Okay, I want you to see the relationship between you and your teenager as a plant. And don't expect them to water the plant. It's like saying, the plant doesn't care who waters it. It just needs to be watered. The plant doesn't care who shifts its environment. It just, whether your husband does it, you do it, someone else does it, doesn't matter. It just needs what it needs, okay? And so your relationship with your teenager doesn't need your teenager making their contribution to it. It actually doesn't. I know we say that, well, I'm going to try, but you need to try too. And that's a good theory and it's convenient, myself included. I find myself saying these things sometimes. I feel like I'm contributing and I don't feel like you've contributed as much. But when you come back to deep consciousness, it's our responsibility. The plant is only a result of its environment. Your teenager and the way they're behaving towards you, the way they're snappy, the way they've got attitude, the way they avoid you, the way they want to be on technology instead of being around you, all of those things create the wilting plant or the wilting relationship. But it's not the plant, it's the environment the plant's in. It's not the child. It's the child has some needs, just like the plant does. And even though you've been trying, you haven't met its need yet. You haven't quite got it right yet. And if you know what, I'm going to do this in a 2-part series. We're going to come back tomorrow and I'm going to share with you exactly how you tend to the plant. So I'm going to leave this one here and I want you to really absorb this. Go back to the start and watch it again and really take this in. Really let this touch you. And just for today, all I want you to do is change your filter. Just stop seeing the teenager as the one with the problem. It's not the plant that needs to fix itself, okay? We need to change the environment so that the plant can do what it does. It's the same with our teenager. We don't have to fix the person. There was no problem with the plant. It knows how to. There's no problem with the wound. The body knows how to heal itself. The plant will do its own thing. We need to change the environment. We need to keep bacteria out of the wound. We need to keep bugs and pests off the plant. So we need to not only keep the bugs and the bacteria out, but we have to bring in the fertilizer and the nourishment. And this is what we need to do with our teenagers too. It's not just about what we're doing. It's also about what are we taking out of this relationship? What are we clearing? What bacteria, what pests, what toxic energy do we need to take out of this relationship? And sometimes that's just our approach. Sometimes the toxic energy is just the way that we're seeing it. That's all it is. And as soon as you allow a message like this to touch you and to hit you and to change you, you see your teenager different tonight. It doesn't take till next week to make this change. The next time you look at them, you see them differently. I want you to see them as just a wilting plant. Don't fix the plant. The problem isn't with the plant. The plant will fix itself. Let them run their own life. They will fix themselves. Okay? They can evolve. They can heal. It's never too late. For as long as there's life in it, it's never too late. What we need to do is tend to the environment. We need to meet their needs. And we need to not only nourish them, but we need to keep the toxins and the bacteria and the pests out. That's our perspectives. That's our mindsets. That's our thoughts. That's our, intentions. That's our expectations that if I've done this for you, how dare you? And then you come home all moody and, that you're so unappreciative because I fertilized you yesterday. You're so unappreciative. Why are you wilting today? How dare you wilt when I tended to you yesterday? Think about it. You wouldn't be angry at the plant, okay? I know you're making effort. I know you're looking for answers. There's a reason you've even watched this, okay? I know you're the parent that won't stop until you find what this relationship needs. But the relationship is a living organism. It's not two people doing a relationship. It's two people in and creating a relationship, but the relationship itself is a third organism. It is an organism on its own, and it needs attention. Okay, anything that is a living organism requires attention. Okay, so this relationship needs your attention. I'm going to come back tomorrow and share exactly what you do to tend to the plant, but sit with this perspective just for tonight. See them through the filter and just renew your own spirit, renew your own intentions around, gosh, I've been getting angry at the plant. I've been yelling at the plant. I've been telling the plant to fix itself and the plant to fix the problem. And you know, what the plant really needs is a new environment. And I'm going to take responsibility. I'm not going to leave it for my husband to move the plant. I'm going to move the plant. I'm going to put it in the sunshine. I'm going to bring it into the shade. I'm going to repot it. I'm going to give it a new fertilizer. I'm going to go search what else could this problem be. So, as I always say, conscious parenting, it takes courage, okay? It takes courage to face what's showing up in your relationship with your teenager, because I'll tell you now, most of what's showing up is the reflection of unhealed wounds that you've experienced in your life. So please, if nothing else, please today, depart from here with courage. The courage to believe in a better way. The courage to voice what you've got to say. The courage to thrive when times are tough, and above all else, the courage to know